Hello world, I'm Dasha Tregubova, Ukrainian actress and director. Now I'm in Ukraine with my family, and I'm a witness to how cruelly Russia bombs our cities. The number of killed civilians is increasing every minute. It's more than 2,000 people for now, many children among them. All the cities of our country suffered. Russians are trying to destroy my hometown, Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My sister and her husband yesterday received 40 refugees from Chernihiv, mostly women and children. She says that children are afraid of pines. They sway in the wind and kids think that planes are flying to shoot at them. How can this happen in the 21st century? The Russians suddenly turned out to be Nazis in the eyes of the whole world. Why did this happen? Only facts. Russia and Ukraine have never been one people, one nation. And 31 years ago, they officially ceased to be part of the USSR. And from that moment on, Ukraine, an independent state, chose its own path of development. And no matter what questions and internal problems we have, they do not concern either Russia or Russians for a long time. We have our own way, and they have Putin. And life with a dictator does not lead to anything good. Huge Russia is turning into the main absurdity of the modern world, North Korea. The whole world is now against Russia and condemns their government's aggression, except Belarus and North Korea, by the way. The criminal court in Hague took up the investigation of Russian war crimes in Ukraine, and this will be the second Nuremberg trial. Why? Just compare Hitler's speech before the invasion of Poland at the beginning of the World War II, and try to find 5 differences with what Putin is saying now. Spoiler, it won't be easy. But we Ukrainians feel incredible unity now and support from all countries. We need isolation for Russia, total isolation. In the comments to all materials about the war in Ukraine, thousands of bots are now commenting. Russia has allocated a huge budget for this. The first phrase from their training manual is always the same. What did you do 8 years ago when Donbass was bombed? Let me tell you. Russian propaganda has been brainwashing millions of Russian viewers and Ukrainian population in Donetsk and Lugansk for a long time. So, the fact is, in 2014, Russia occupied the Crimea and invaded the territory of our country in Donetsk and Lugansk. And yes, it is a fact that part of the local population supported this invasion. They too were intimidated by the Russian media with stories about how terrible it would be to live in Ukraine after the overthrow of Yanukovych, ex-president of Ukraine, native of Donbass, who was overthrown by the people for numerous crimes against the country. But the part of the population that wanted to be with Russia did not move there, but demanded that the entire Luhansk and Donetsk region will be recognized as Russian, which is contrary both to common sense and international law. It's really important to understand that the phrase civil war to the events of 8 years ago is not applicable. The war in Donbass began from the moment when the Russian military entered this land. Similar stories in Transnistria, Abkhazia, Georgia, Chechnya. Read about them, but please not in the Russian Wikipedia or local media. And pay attention, the aggressor is always Russia. The truth is that Russia is now a threat not only to us, to Ukrainians, but to the whole world. Tell everyone, support us, and together we will defeat the aggressor.